Howdy, howdy, howdy. How is everybody doing on this fine Saturday night as we are presenting episode 34 of the Shadow Cult podcast? And ladies and gentlemen, you are not dreaming. The 4 gang members are here. Levi, Scott, Walt, and James. Although Walt, he looks like Palpatine tonight. And with no hair. It is very riveting.
Yes.
So Darth Vader in his little chamber there.
And then turns around.
Yes, Admiral.
Oh boy. Order 66.
Wipe them out. All of them.
You have failed me for the last time. I shall go apologize to Lord Vader personally.
Anyways, how's it going, everybody? We are episode 34. It's still kicking as we are continuing Royal Rumble month. And so last week, you caught us for Royal Rumble 1992. This week, we are talking Royal Rumble 1995. And who's got the stream going?
Yeah. I just muted it. Relax.
Okay. Because I hate hearing the sound of my own voice.
Echo.
Pinch
hitting for Pedro Morbone. Annie Mota.
I'm an idiot. You're an idiot.
I'm not your friend, buddy. I'm not your buddy guy. I'm not your guy friend.
Brother. But anyway, so we are talking Royal Rumble 1995, and watching the show back this morning, I think we could all agree the undercard of the show, pretty good undercard. Rumble match itself, we'll get to that when we get to it. But anyways,
fastest Rumble ever.
Yeah,
very fast. Yeah,
don't go to the bathroom for this
redeeming
Rumble.
Quality. Yeah, one redeeming quality.
Don't go to the bathroom for that Rumble or you're missing.
Nope.
So,
hello, Sean. Hello, Russell. Hello, Ricky. Everybody in the chat there.
Yep. On both YouTube and Twitch, I'm keeping an eye on. So, yeah. So, some quick notes about Royal Rumble 1995. So, this show took place at the USF Sun Dome in Tampa, Florida, with an attendance.
By the way, dome is very, very a term you should use loosely because this is no dome.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And hence why attendance for the show was 10,000, live gate $140,000, with pay-per-view buys $230,000. When you look at it compared to the year previous, Royal Rumble 1994, the attendance and live gate was lower than 94, but the pay-per-view buys were actually higher than 94, which for 1995, to beat out a pay-per-view in 94, that's saying something, but at the same time, not saying much, because it was only by 25,000 buys separating. And then compared to the rest of the shows in 1995, attendance was 5th lowest, In Your House 3 was the lowest. Live Gate was the 5th highest, with WrestleMania 11 being the highest. And pay-per-view buys was the 2nd highest, with WrestleMania 11 being the highest. So when you balance everything out, business-wise, the show did okay for the time. But, yeah, 1995, ladies and gentlemen. So, Scott, what kind of food do we have en masse for Royal Rumble 1995?
Once again, the foo is limited this week because there's not much to talk about on this one. So I'll blow through this real fast. For Royal Rumble 1995, we have Pamela Anderson and her glorious nipples. We have a stiff-ass ring. You notice that ring don't move much. We also have LT, Lawrence Taylor at ringside. We have a lot of restarts. Quite a few restarts. Just restart it. And also, I don't know why I just wrote this down, but I thought it was interesting to mention. We have Mantar on this show. Just to say. We also have cackling, strutting, ref bumping, possum playing, and run-ins. For moves, we have 3 choke slams, a sleeper, 4 figure fours, a Canadian backbreaker, a jackknife powerbomb, a sharpshooter, and a crossface chicken wing. And for the foo, very limited this week. All I saw was post foo, chair foo, and just to stretch it out, druid foo. And that's your foo for this week.
Yep. Hopefully next week we'll have a lot more foo en masse when we talk 1998. But with all that said and done, let's talk about the actual pay-per-view itself. So as we alluded, when you hear this undercard, you're gonna think, was this really the same show with this Rumble match we're gonna talk about later? Well, yeah, but we kick things off with the first of 3 championship matches for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. Champion Razor Ramon versus challenger Jeff Jarrett with the Roadie. Oh, God. But
Ain't he great?
With my baby.
It's JEFF. Ha ha.
JARRET.
That's Double J, Jeff Jarrett, the world's greatest singer, world's greatest entertainer, and the world's greatest wrestler. Ain't I great?
Spending my day working hard on
the go. I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight.
Oh boy! But for this match, for an IC title match during this time, I thought this was a really good opening match to kick things off.
Solid.
Then again, I can't think like the Jared Razor matches during the first half of the year were good matches.
They were good.
They were good
Yeah,
matches.
great pairing.
But here's where I take issue with how this, and as Scott alluded, a lot of restarts. This was the first match of those restarts. So we get around probably like the 13-minute mark of a good back and forth between both Jarrett and Razor. We get the chop block spot with Roadie attacking Razor's leg, knocking Razor out for a bit. Then a 10 count happens, and you think Jeff Jarrett wins by count out. And
Jeff calls him back.
And Jeff calls him back with the coward card. And then Razor.
You're yellow.
You're chicken.
Well, you gotta watch out. I mean, Razor Ramon is Razor Ramon's Cuban, and there's a lot of machismo going on. And machismo is very important. His machismo was questioned, so he had to defend his machismo.
He's losing something, man, but it's not machismo.
But yeah, I thought that was a little bit funny. And then we get the rest of the match, and it's mostly Jarrett going after the leg. Good psychology as a heel, going after the body part that had been targeted after what Roadie did. But I alluded to this, and James, I think, can agree with me on this. So they do the rematch at WrestleMania 11, and they do a DQ finish with Jarrett retaining the title. Yet they did the title change here. Why not reverse and have the DQ here and have Jarrett win the title at Mania? Kind of backwards in booking, if you ask me.
I can't refute that. I don't see why they did this way either. Question, James, maybe you know, when was it that Scott Hall left WWF?
He left in May 1996.
Yeah, right around the curtain call. The curtain call was the last match.
Right. Okay.
So
okay. I'm just thinking the timeline wise, maybe, negotiating contracts and something's not going properly could lead to the reason why they didn't do it the way Levi said. Just speculation on my part.
Right. But in the end, Jeff Jarrett defeated Razor Ramon to win the Intercontinental Championship in 18 minutes, 6 seconds.
That's the other thing, too, to go back to your point about the restart. Normally, I would think, and Walter, I think you might back me up on this one, normally in this scenario where the babyface gets counted out and the heel demands a restart, the babyface would usually win in some kind of finalized fashion. You'd pin him, submit him, something like that. And in
most cases, the babyface is opposite going up in a situation like that.
Yeah. So what's the point of doing a restart when the heel's going to go over anyway.
And a lot of times it's the baby face initiating the restart.
Right.
Like if it's a time limit draw or something like that, 5 more minutes,
Yep. And that's like I said, the booking of this is completely backwards. So again, it's more questions. Why was the title change done here? Why wasn't it done at WrestleMania? Why did they have the heel restart the match? Why does the heel go over? What was the point of the restart in that case? And it just a lot of just like, what the fuck? Good match. I thought what they did was great, and Jarrett and Hall have great chemistry in the ring, but just those little details just make you go, what?
Like, what?
Yeah.
It's like I need a calculator to calculate all this. 2 + 2 = 666. What the hell is this shit?
4, and I'm still confused.
Yeah, did you carry the 1? Oh, I carried the 1 before.
Yeah. Really good opener, but backwards in booking when you look at along with the WrestleMania 11 match these two had.
Yeah.
But after that, oh boy. Well, up next we have Undertaker with Paul Bearer versus Erwin R. Shyster with Ted DiBiase. So this was
versus taxes.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny looking back, but so this was around the beginning of the what felt like an eternity, the Undertaker $1 Million Corporation feud that started back at SummerSlam with the Underfaker versus Undertaker, and then we get the feud come to fruition here, starting here, and I did not.
The build-up is one of those. Oh, it's like I'm gonna collect the taxes of the dead because they are tax evading, and you're a bunch of tax cheats, and it's 1995.
Yeah.
Could still get heat off of it, but it's like we've seen this for the last 4 or 5 years at this point.
Yeah,
getting old.
No, nothing evolved with the IRS.
My favorite is the gift tax on Tataka's headset.
I forgot about that one. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Mr. Rotundo.
But,
I can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I just said, there was nothing about, like, yeah, the IRS character got good heat, but nothing about it evolved. So it's like, why waste our time with this?
Tax cheat? You fucking tax cheat?
Mm-hmm. Proving once again that Mike Rotunda is the world's sweatiest wrestler. There's one point where there's a double down between the two of them, and there's a close-up of Taker, and he's lying there. He's clean. He's dry. There's nothing there. They cut to Rotunda, drenched.
I don't know who is sweatier, IRS or Shane McMahon nowadays. Shane McMahon nowadays, as Ross Tweddle from Cultaholic would call, sweaty bastard. Because good God, he produces puddles during the last few matches he had in the last couple of years. Good God.
It's all the supplemental testosterone he's taking. He's sweating it out.
Yeah. Or I don't know, Brock Lesnar in recent years sweated quite a bit too. And he got winded easily as well. But yeah, we've gone off the rails, and that's because, well, this match was not very good at all between these two.
It was what it was.
It was what it was. And really the only thing that's memorable about this match is the post-match where the Druids come in and attack, and King Kong Bundy shows up, and this began the angle of Taker trying to get the urn back. That also felt like it went on for ages as well.
Yeah, we're about 18 months shy of where Taker's matches started really picking up. We still got very sluggish, slow Taker, and this whole angle with the urn and all that shit kind of complemented that slow,
Yeah, he didn't get the urn back until the end of the year. That's how long
Was that from Kama he got it back from?
For Mabel, because Mabel stole it back.
Right.
Yeah, he got back from Kama at SummerSlam, and then Mabel stole it, and then he got back at the 5th in Your House? Yeah, 5th in Your House.
Yeah, in December.
Yeah.
And then they got the new smaller urn.
Right, because Kama melted it down and made a chain.
Yep. So in the end, Undertaker defeated IRS in 12 minutes 21 seconds.
Any confirmation on who the Druids were?
Oh, that.
Anybody? Any idea?
Terry Funk and Greg Valentine.
See, because I was guessing, I was looking at the size. I thought it was like Brian Lee and like Kevin Sullivan because one guy was so freaking short. I know it wouldn't be Sullivan, but still, it's just like really, really short dude and a real tall dude.
I remember hearing it during OSW Reviews episode, but it's not coming to mind.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, it's one of the Harris brothers and Jimmy Del Rey, maybe.
Really? Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
So them two pulled double duty this night, eh?
I guess.
If that were the case.
I'd have to rewatch their episode because they said it, but it not coming to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But now that we've gone from the worst part of the show to the best part of the show, we are at the middle point of this pay-per-view. Up next, the second of 3 championship matches. For the WWF Championship, we have Diesel defending against Bret Hart. So we English. We rewind back to June of '94 at the King of the Ring, where we had, voice cracks, where we had the Diesel Bret champion versus champion match for the WWF Championship, and that was an awesome match. Ended with a DQ win for Diesel because of Anvil and everything that happened on that night with Owen. Set up an amazing match at SummerSlam. Diesel, on the other hand, was still rocking the Intercontinental title until losing it to Razor at SummerSlam. In the meantime, he became tag champions with Shawn, and then you started, then you start getting the build of the Shawn Diesel split with the 3 accidental Sweet Chin musics leading up to Survivor Series, and then after Survivor Series, you get Diesel winning the title from Bob Backlund in 8 seconds, and then after that, well, yeah, this match, it was an amazing match. I can't think of a bad Nash-Bret match ever. And this match was great. However, the finish. Well, before we get to the finish, they overbooked this match to death, and seeing Owen coming out first, or no, Shawn coming out first, attacking Diesel. Why is there no DQ? Earl Hebner's like, continue the match. Owen comes out, attacks Bret. Is that a DQ? No, we continue the match. And then you get a third and final run-in from Backlund, Owen, and Shawn, as well as Rhodey and Jarrett.
Jarrett,
all coming in and attacking, and all hell breaks loose. And I think
there's also blatant chair use on both counts. There's also the ref bump that happens.
Taping up Diesel's legs in the ring post.
Bret was so good in trying to get Diesel over as the new top babyface.
Bret did get booed because they were trying to make him the de facto heel, even though this was a face-face match.
Right.
Well, in a face versus face match, unless it's like 1983, there's no such thing. Someone has got to be the heel.
Right. Somebody's always got to try to get heat, so the other guy will look good.
Unless it's 1983 and Brad Armstrong and Mike Jackson are doing the 20-minute opener in the Omni. So.
Oh yeah, it was like
or Jim Powers and Salvatore Bellomo.
Those are classics, man.
Where it's all headlocks and arm bars, and with Powers going over with a high cross body.
Occasional drop kick, and a high cross, and a cartwheel here or there because it's Salvatore Bellomo.
But yeah,
also it's like. This is Diesel's first championship defense on pay-per-view. He's supposed to be this new, big, full-time, long-term champion, and you do a no contest.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's like, well, we don't want Diesel to lose, but we don't want Bret to lose. We don't want to hurt either of them, but it ended up hurting the both of them in the long run, because look at the aftermath. Diesel, after WrestleMania, the only credible heel he was working with for the rest of the year was Sid, to the point where they were running out of heels, to the point where they had to turn Bulldog heel, and that was one of the dumbest heel turns you could have ever done. And then Bret, after this, Yeah, he concluded the feud with Bob Backlund, but in one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. And then which we will talk about at WrestleMania time. And then he stuck wrestling pirates and Japanese newcomers and dentists. Oh, Lord. Granted, he made the most out of it, and he did get some great matches during that time, but sheesh.
It happens without even knowing it. The booking yourself into a corner situation has happened to me a couple of times. You don't think about it enough long term to realize, oh shit, what am I going to do for this match? And you try not to go the obligatory DQ or count out finish. And time limits nowadays at this point is like not going to happen. So it's like, what the hell do you do? And they stuck themselves in a corner. They couldn't get out of it. All right, let's just overload it with run-ins and restarts and ref bumps and all that stuff, and it'll just blow over the fact that we have no finish.
Bro, it's only a prop, bro.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Great match, overbooked to death, and it hurt the both of them in the long run because, I mean...
almost a half hour and do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, in the end, Diesel fought Bret Hart to a draw in 27 minutes, 19 seconds.
Now, let me just comment about what James just said, because what James just said there is an observation that we would all have nowadays, because we understand how the wrestling business is. In 95, it was not as widely exposed. And at that point, the heat is actually supposed to be put on the people running in instead of the company who makes these guys wrestle 30 minutes and gives them a finish like that. Back then, it's like they wrestle 30 minutes. Oh, Michaels came in and ruined it. Oh, Backlund came in and ruined it. Oh, Jeff Jarrett came in and ruined it. All the heels came in and ruined everything. So they're trying to put the heat on those guys. So that was probably more the intention of all those run-ins. But looking at it through our eyes nowadays, with as much as we know, exactly. We look at it now as they booked this match, they gave these guys 30 minutes, and that's the finish they came up with. Different mentality back then, different perception.
Yeah.
But after that, we get the penultimate match of the show and the third and final championship match of the night, the tournament final to crown the new WWF Tag Team Championships. So you have Bam Bam Bigelow and Tatanka with Ted DiBiase versus 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Sparkplug Holly.
So what a fucking tag division this is.
Yeah. Yeah, and keep this in mind, too. 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Holly were only put together to replace the Smoking Guns.
Now, okay. Smoking Guns were in the Royal Rumble match, and they won the tag titles the night after. Why not just have them win the belts here?
Yeah.
Makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
Wasn't one at one point?
What? But despite all that, I thought for a tag team title match, I thought this match was pretty good. Pretty good match between these two teams.
Yeah. It goes long. You know,
maybe about 5 minutes too long, but still pretty good match.
But good pop from the crowd too, so that it woke them right up.
That's the big indicator right there that when they win, crowd was like, "Oh shit!" and it worked. You know, because at that time, again, you have to look at it from that time frame. 95, we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. There, it's the wrestling recession. There's the hiring freeze. All that stuff going on. They're trying to get new talent in there, like Well Done, and guys like that coming from Smoky Mountain and so forth, Heavenly Bodies and Mantar. But it's a different time frame. So it's like, okay, these guys are new baby faces. It's the new era, the new attitude, whatever you want to call it.
New generation.
Thank you. New generation. I couldn't remember the word. Thank you.
That's for us.
Yeah, this will surely affect my inheritance. Yeah.
Oh, SpongeBob, shut the hell up.
Unbelievable.
But when you look back at this time frame with the Sparkplug character, essentially NASCAR and wrestling is what he was. Mm-hmm. And this was the highest point of his run as Sparkplug. Well, apart from a non-recognized IC title win a few months later that ended up getting reversed. And then, thank God they changed him to Hardcore Holly just a few years later after this.
What, you didn't like Job Squad Bob Holly?
Oh, I love Job Squad Bob.
Midnight Express Bob Holly?
Bombastic Bob, I think, or
Bombastic Bob and Bodacious Bart.
Bodacious Bart.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. But in the end, 1-2-3 Kid and Bob Holly defeated Bam Bam Bigelow Tatanka in 15 minutes, 32 seconds. Post-match, you notice Tatanka and DiBiase just leave Bam in the middle of the ring. This is the beginning of Bam Bam leaving the corporation eventually. That would happen after WrestleMania. And yep, LT's laughing at Bam Bam for getting pinned.
Everybody's laughing at him.
Everybody's laughing at him, but
he lost to the kid.
Yeah, and then he sees LT, and then they get into a tussle, and this is the build-up we got heading into fucking WrestleMania.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Lord. But the less we talk
about,
we will talk about that
we'll get there.
in 2 months. We will be getting there at some point soon. But now that out of the way, now we're on to the main event of the night.
It's time for the Royal Rumble.
So, a couple of notes before we get into everything. So, Vince decided that maybe doing 1-minute intervals, making this match feel quicker. He thinks it's going to make it more exciting and all this and that and blah, blah, blah. But in reality, what it did was lessen the importance of this match in my eyes, because it made the match feel very lightweight. And on top of that, I'm about to go through all 30 entrances. You're about to see why I would personally consider this the third worst Rumble match in the history of
Murderers Row in this Rumble.
So,
another factor about this too, before you get to the list too, is how little of impact and emphasis they put on the Rumble match on the show. Mm-hmm. You don't hear pretty much from anybody in the Rumble except Shawn. You really don't get that much attention from anybody.
No.
In other pay-per-views, you get at least like 5 maybe interviews during the show of somebody who's in it to put it over and how important it is. This time,
like you're there with 29
guys. Try to cut a promo without mentioning 29.
Right, 29, yes.
It's like you heard from Shawn, maybe Luger.
Yeah, you did hear from Luger, yeah. Yeah, I can only remember Shawn and Luger.
Contender.
Yeah.
Now, I forget one thing, because you know what? I don't think they really mentioned this at all on the show. Is it like every other man for himself, or is like every few guys for themselves? What is it? I don't remember. I don't remember them mentioning it at all. Do you?
Every
man for himself. We know.
Series either.
Yeah, they kept on. Yeah. So the 30 entrances we got in order: Shawn Michaels, the British Bulldog, Eli Blue, Duke the Dumpster Droese, Jimmy Del Rey, Sione, Tom Pritchard, Doink the Clown,
which I think was Ray Apollo.
Which I think it was Ray at that point. You're right. Or Steve.
Yeah.
It was one of those two.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Kern. I think it was Apollo.
Quang.
Could have been both.
It could be both. Quang, Rick Martel, Owen Hart, Timothy Well, Bushwhacker Luke, Jacob Blue, King Kong Bundy, Mo, Mabel,
a quick one.
Bushwhacker Butch, Lex Luger, Mantar, Aldo Montoya, Henry O. Godwin, Billy and Bart Gunn, Bob Backlund, Stephen Dunn, Dick Murdoch, Adam Bomb, Fatu, and Crush. So to everybody watching, you get what I mean when I say this is the third worst Rumble match of all time. Other than Shawn, Bulldog, Owen, and Luger, who in the hell else do you think was going to win this match?
And Owen only lasted 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he gets attacked in the aisleway, gets in, dumped out by Bulldog, and gets attacked again.
Yeah.
Same thing with Backlund. I think he lasted less than 20 seconds in this.
Yep. There's a lot of like guys that go in and get out real quick. Bushwhackers, Mo. I know he gets out quick.
Mo.
It's Momo, the lemur. No, it's dinner. All right.
Like, get in the ring and get the fuck out.
This is good shit.
God damn it. You're supposed to be in for only 20 seconds, not 21. Motherfucker.
So the elimination order, Jimmy Del Rey was the first one eliminated by the British Bulldog at 1 minute 25 seconds lasting. Owen Hart, the second man eliminated by British Bulldog in 3 seconds, and you didn't even see it. You had to wait till the replay, because right as Owen comes out, Brett comes out, gets his revenge on Owen for what happened earlier in the title match. Third one out was Duke the Dumpster Droese by Shawn Michaels at 8 minutes 13 seconds he lasted. Fourth guy eliminated was Timothy Well, who lasted 23 seconds after being eliminated by the British Bulldog. The fifth man eliminated was the model Rick Martel, who was eliminated by Sione of the Head Shrinkers, lasting 2 minutes 29 seconds.
AKA the Barbarian.
Yep. Tom Pritchard, the sixth one eliminated by Shawn Michaels, lasting 5 minutes 30 seconds. Doink the Clown was the next one to be eliminated by Quang. He lasts 4 minutes 50 seconds. Quang was the next one eliminated by Sione at lasting 4 minutes 1 second. Eli Blue eliminated by Sione at 10 minutes he would last. Sione was also eliminated by Eli Blue as they eliminated each other, and Sione lasted 6 minutes 50 seconds, racking up 3 eliminations, Eli Blue with 1 and Quang with 1 up to this point. Bushwhacker Luke eliminated by Shawn Michaels, lasting 12 seconds. Jacob Blue, an improvement over 91. Jacob Blue, the 12th man eliminated at 17 seconds. He lasted by Shawn Michaels. That was a delicious one. Mo was the 13th man eliminated by King Kong Bundy, also at 3 seconds. King Kong Bundy would be eliminated by Mabel after he lasted 3 minutes, racking up 1 elimination. Bushwhacker Butch would be eliminated next by Shawn Michaels at 19 seconds. So Shawn Michaels eliminates both the Bushwhackers on this match. Mabel would be the next to be eliminated by Lex Luger, Mabel lasting 1 minute 58 seconds, racking up 1 elimination. Next man eliminated, Bob Backlund, being eliminated by Lex Luger at 16 seconds. Mantar eliminated next by Lex Luger, and Mantar would last 9 minutes 33 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. Ain't that a bitch?
It's Mantar's career.
Yeah, it's the highlight of his career. He lasts nearly 10 minutes.
Mantar match? This one.
Yeah, Mantar did a signing in Albany not too long ago.
Oh, really? Is that Scott Wilder?
It's Scott Wilder, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that answered that question.
Billy Silverman has work thanks to Scott Wilder.
Tremendous.
Oh, man. Bart Gunn would be the next eliminated by both Crush and Dick Murdoch, lasting 6 minutes 19 seconds. Billy Gunn, the next one eliminated by Crush at 7 minutes 25 seconds. Stephen Dunn would be the next eliminated by Aldo Montoya at 4 minutes 29 seconds he would last. Let's see. Adam Bomb, the next one eliminated by Future Chronic.
Oh yeah, Otis.
Yeah, eliminated by Otis.
Otis.
Adam Bomb would be the next eliminated by Future Chronic tag partner Crush. He would last 5 minutes 20 seconds. Aldo Montoya, the next eliminated by Shawn Michaels, and Aldo Montoya 13 minutes 21 seconds of getting 1 elimination.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
With the jockstrap on his face.
Yeah. who, if only he had gone to the back of the sleeper hold chain in a house show with Austin and Undertaker, he would have been king of the world. No, he goes to the very front. Why? You could have been the master of the sleeper train. But anyways, yeah. Fatu next eliminated by Crush at 5 minutes 32 seconds he would last. Dick Murdoch, the next one, eliminated by Henry Godwinn. He would last 5 minutes 8 seconds, racking up 1 elimination. Henry Godwinn, next one to be eliminated by Lex Luger. And now we're in the final 5. So the final 5, Henry Godwinn, Lex Luger, Crush, British Bulldog, Shawn Michaels. Well, apart from 3 of those names, but anyways, so Godwinn eliminated by Luger. Godwinn lasted 14 minutes 40 seconds, racking up 1 elimination. Luger, the next one, eliminated by both Crush and Shawn Michaels, lasting 18 minutes 51 seconds, racking up 4 eliminations. Then Crush gets eliminated, lasting 8 minutes 51 seconds by the British Bulldog, racking up 5 eliminations, and being the number 30 entrant, leaving us to the 2 that started the match with the 2 that ended, Bulldog and Shawn. And we get probably the most famous moment of the match, where Bulldog, it looks like he eliminates Shawn, and they play Bulldog's music. They're like, "Is Shawn eliminated? Shawn, I think's been eliminated." And then he comes in, knocks Bulldog off the corner.
WrestleMania.
Knocks Bulldog off the top rope, down to the floor, and then the referees confirm only 1 of Shawn Michaels' feet hit the floor, hence why now every year you get, there must be 2 feet that touch the floor, so...
And both feet must touch the floor!
And because of that has given Kofi Kingston years of creativity.
Exactly.
And
like standing on a stack of pancakes.
He does every Royal Rumble.
Uh-huh, yes.
Pancakes does not equal floor.
Yep.
It does not.
No, it doesn't.
And who did the Kofi spots last year? Was it Casey Catanzaro or?
Yeah. Usually for the ladies, it's Naomi, but
the men's there wasn't one last year because Brock just eliminated everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you know what? I hope Brock does that again, but wins this time.
If he ever comes back.
If he comes back.
Yeah.
I'm coming at number 2.
Mm. He'll be 31 and ruin the whole thing.
Wait, actually, Mandy Rose had one like that kind of. She landed on Otis. Her feet landed on Otis.
Right, that's right. Yes,
and let's not forget,
got the biggest pop. The biggest pop during that entire Rumble was that spot. Place went nuts for that.
But let's not forget, as much as we give Kofi credit for doing it, we can't forget that John Morrison was the one that started it.
That's true.
True, yeah.
He was doing the parkour shit.
Parkour.
Yeah, 2011, I think, was when he did it. So, and then the year after, going forward, it was Kofi. So,
yeah,
but
because John was gone by then.
Yeah. So in the end,
John, we will be seeing John do it this year. Or John and Kofi will be taking turns doing it.
That'll be interesting. But anyway, so Shawn Michaels wins the Royal Rumble match, last eliminating the British Bulldog in 38 minutes 41 seconds, the shortest 30-man Rumble ever.
Accidentally screwing this up, because it could have easily been like, "Oh shit, both feet hit. What do we do?
Yeah,
fuck it. It's supposed to be Shawn. We're going with it."
Yeah. But thankfully, it was
like
only just one foot. Yeah.
In 2000.
Yes.
And then we get the post-match pose, and one person in the ring obviously doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like Pamela is like, "What am I doing here? It's a payday. Hi."
Yeah. So
money. She's like, "I gotta do this again in a few months."
And do it with Jenny McCarthy.
Yep.
Oh yeah, how cold it was in the building. Yeah. Even though they're in Florida, Tampa, for God's sakes. Tampa, I thought they were never supposed to get cold weather.
Who knows? She's cold-blooded.
So
air conditioners were on high.
Yeah, maybe that was the case. But
someone flicked the switch, her headlights were on.
But to go back to the point I made before we went into all this, as I said, I would make the argument this is the 3rd worst Rumble match ever. People may ask, well, what's the first 2? 2015, 1999. If we ever talk about those shows, oh god, I can't wait to tear those Rumble matches apart. But I digress with that. Yep. So yeah, just the fact that they tried to shorten the match, the lack of star power. Yeah, this match was not that great. It's not terrible, but it's not that good either. I would call it
Shawn Michaels showcase.
It was the Shawn Michaels showcase. Yeah,
that was the business of the match. You know, they go through so much meticulous detail to emphasize any kind of scenario. They play back what happens to the Royal Rumble previous with Luger and Brett going over at the same time. You know, trying to emphasize the importance of making sure both feet hit and all that stuff. And like I said, the only main promo guy was really just Shawn, and he got, you know, a lot of attention on that. And just it was all about Shawn at this point. It's the click, man. It's all about the click at this point. Mm-hmm.
Too sweet.
And Triple H ain't even in the company yet.
Not yet.
Not for another 5 months.
Still doing stuff at WCW at this point.
Right.
Jean-Paul Levesque.
Mm-hmm.
Which I actually like that name. I'm not going to lie, it fits. But anyways, so overall, Royal Rumble 1995, I might be grading this under the 1995 system, but I thought it was a good show. Definitely one of the better shows of the year.
Show.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
solid undercard Rumble matches. Yeah. But, you know,
a lot of these earlier Rumbles, you can go back and watch because they're very quick. You only have about 4 or 5 matches, and here it's perfect. 3 title matches, the Rumble, and a Taker match.
Yeah.
Sounds all perfect.
So now on to our couple of good parts. Favorite, least favorite, and sleeper match. For me, favorite match is really easy. Diesel and Brett, even though what I pointed out earlier, that the way they did the finish, it hurt the both of them in the long run. Least favorite match, Undertaker IRS. And then for the sleeper match, it's a toss-up between the IC title and the tag title match, but I'm going to personally give it to the tag title match only for the reason of Jarrett and Razor was really good, but because of the backwards booking, it makes me not appreciate the match as much as I probably should. Whereas the tag title match, yeah, it went 5 minutes, perhaps a bit too long, but the match was still really good, and you got a nice little quick feel-good moment, even though it gets spoiled the next night when the Smoking Guns win the belts anyways, so. But there you have it. James?
Favorite was the WWF title match. Least favorite was Undertaker IRS, and my sleeper was the tag title match.
Scott?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that makes the most sense. Title match is really good. Questionable finish, we know. Taker IRS was what it was. And the tag title match has a solid big pop finish, which definitely makes it, you know, as a big standout. If the Intercontinental title match had a different finish, probably would have gone with that. But yeah, I'd say sleeper's the tag title match.
Walter?
Make it unanimous, same thing.
I think that's
Diesel.
I think that's the first time we've gone unanimous with this new format.
I think so.
Yeah, on everything, including the sleeper match.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So now, time to hang out for a while and talk to the people.
Push job Endeavor.
Oh yeah, I forgot push job Endeavor. I forgot, and I said a couple of things. So.
Yeah, that's okay. So we're going to make this real easy for you guys this week. Right. Anybody out there, push job Endeavor, if you know the game F, Marry, Kill, you get 3 names. You got to F1, marry 1, kill 1. In the wrestling world here for Shadow Cult, we have push job Endeavor. I'm going to give these guys 3 names. They got to push 1, they got to job 1 out, and they got a future Endeavor 1. And for this week's push job Endeavor, gentlemen, I present to you Lex Luger, Davey Boy Smith, and Crush.
Push Davey, job Crush, Endeavor Luger.
Okay. James or Walt, whoever wants to go next.
Push Davey, job Luger, Endeavor Crush.
Ooh. Okay.
Because by a couple of months later, Crush was going to be gone anyway, because that's when he got arrested. So.
Oh yeah,
that's a good point. Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Yeah.
Same thing there.
All right, Scott.
Yeah, and for me, I would actually, I would. Went back and forth on it, but I forgot about. Initially, I was going to say push Crush for being a strong heel, but I forgot what James just mentioned, that he'd be arrested soon, so the push would probably go nowhere. So, but in the time frame, then without knowing that information, I would have pushed Crush, Job Davey, and Endeavor Luger.
And Ricky just said what I said: push Bulldog, Endeavor Luger, Job Crush. But now, let's hang out for a while and let's answer some of y'all's questions. Now the wet t-shirt contest. Yeah, now the story time section of the show with questions. So Russell said that I didn't realize until last week that Repo Man was also Axe from Demolition. No, he was Smash.
Smash.
But yeah.
Very Darsaw. Yep.
Yeah. Ricky asked, could you imagine if Shawn actually lost the Rumble and Bulldog would have won it? Yeah, imagine that.
Slipped and fell, like his hand slip or something. It's like, well, what do we do now?
Yeah,
Davey
probably.
And Diesel it is.
What the fuck?
Hey, Henry Godwin wins. Fired. Fired Davey just because.
And Russell says, push Luger, Job Crush, and Endeavor Bulldog.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I think he's the only one to push Lex.
He's daring to be different.
Dare to be different.
And Russell also brought up AJ Styles might win the Rumble match this year. We forgot about him. Yeah, I did. For when we were discussing who could win the Rumble this year, yeah, I completely forgot about AJ.
That tells you right there. That tells you he's not winning because we forgot about him.
And we might be surprised. We'll see.
That or they could be, based on what we saw the other night, I think they might be rebooting Nakamura's push.
Thank
be nice.
God. Thank God.
Nakamura, I'd be totally cool seeing Nakamura dethrone Roman at WrestleMania. That would be awesome. That'd be
great. They won't do it, but it'd be great.
It'd be an amazing match, too. I bet.
Do the match at the Chamber and Nakamura will lose.
There you go.
Yeah.
Actually, too, in that same respect, I'd like to see Cesaro and Roman.
That'd be a great match, too.
Cesaro, I think they're aiming for Cesaro to turn face along with Nakamura as well, because they're still going to remain a tag team. So that means we're going to see down the road on a SmackDown, we're going to see Cesaro and Nakamura versus Roman and Jey Uso. That's going to be fucking great.
That's going to be really good.
Yeah, that will be. Yeah, could you imagine if this year somehow Nakamura and Cesaro get Universal title reigns? I would go insane for that. Yeah, I think one of them will, and I think it'd be Nakamura.
And that's even saying if the title even changes hands this year.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
They both changed hands last year, which doesn't usually mean it's
I want to see Roman hold on to that Universal title as long as possible because this is the best work of his entire career.
Absolutely. Yep.
And you can tell, and I didn't realize it at the time until I was scrolling through like comments, but you notice with Roman's promos, like backstage, you could tell he's taking notes from someone like Jake Roberts, and that's simmered down and more scary sounding. Like you could tell he's taking influence from Jake Roberts.
Just keep it quiet backstage. Don't have to yell and scream because a man, you learned that years ago, a man has enough power. He doesn't need to scream. People will listen.
Yeah.
Speaking of great promos, how about if you guys? I don't know if any of you saw it, but Jay White's post Wrestle Kingdom promo.
I just saw him fall over in the chair in that chair.
He did. He fell over in the chair, and then he got the promo.
Okay.
There's so much going around right now about is he staying with New Japan? Is he coming WWE? What's going on?
Yeah, we were Walt and I were talking about that where we would put Jay White, and we both talked about Walt. You had mentioned NXT UK as a possible stopping off for him, and I would like to see him in NXT, and I would love to see Finn Balor and Jay White in a program.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got to change his finisher.
Yeah, he does. Mr. White? No.
Yeah. Ricky said either AJ wins it or he's in the Final Four. I say he'll definitely be a Final Four. That's, in my opinion, kind of a shoe-in. If Cesaro wins the Rumble, that'd be a miracle. Yes, it would. Although it'd be really cool to see if Nakamura wins it for a second time, but I still have no clue who could fucking win this Rumble match.
This is definitely a year where the winner is up in the air.
Yeah, first time since...
Unless they decide they want to unify both belts and have either Roman or Goldberg win.
I see a title for title, but not a unification. You know what I mean? Like both belts on the line to have that rematch for Survivor Series. Like say if it's Drew and Roman again. Both belts on the line, but not a unification. They hold both championships. That kind of thing. Because they've done the freaking unify the title, then split them up on the brands thing so many goddamn times.
Yep.
I'm sick of seeing it. So, yeah.
How about the other big news from this week? Anderson and Gallows popping up at AEW and aligning with
doing that symbol. They're doing that thing.
Doing it, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like this ain't 2013, guys.
Right.
This has gone on longer than the NWO. And the NWO went on way too long.
Yeah, Bullet Club is not what it used to be. Nobody cares.
They're not even the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club is the guys in Japan. But yeah, again, Bullet Club is not over as it was before.
Yeah. Russell asked, what did you all think of Legends 9 Goldberg coming out, going after Drew Diernez, going crazy over it?
Didn't see the show. I saw the Goldberg clip, but I didn't see the show.
Yeah.
I saw the Goldberg clip. I'm interested. I want to see the match.
Look, all I gotta say is,
I will get a little agitated if Goldberg ends up winning the title because why take it off Drew?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they already did that and put it right back on him.
Yeah,
why take it off Drew? Unless Goldberg's just willing to give that kid, give Drew a little extra push and get him over
or something. So. Yeah, James, go ahead. You were saying something.
All I gotta say is it's the Royal Rumble. There's only 2 matches that matter, and it's both the Royal Rumble matches. You can make whatever world title matches you want on the Royal Rumble because they don't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because when you look at the history of the Royal Rumble, how many world title matches have actually meant more than the Royal Rumble match? None. Unless they were the Royal Rumble match itself.
Yeah,
that's true. 92 was that's a very good point.
And 2016.
Yep.
Well, that's true. Yeah, where John beat AJ to tie up Ric Flair's title. I mean,
it was 2016 where Roman had to defend it in the match and Triple H.
Triple H won it. Yeah.
2017 was
2017
Cena and AJ.
Which you can't see it; it's behind the fan. But I got the autographed plaque of when Cena won the title that night. That came in the 2K18 box. Mm-hmm. And I will say it, and for me, like, yeah, people can shit on Cena, quote, tying Flair, even though he didn't really tie, but you can't take away from the fact that match with AJ and Cena, for me, best WWE pay-per-view match of the decade, next to Punk Cena from Money in the Bank 2011.
It was
like, they're neck and neck. Like, wow.
Great match, emotional ending.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all the great matches AJ and Cena had, that was their best one.
Yeah, definitely. And they had 3 great ones. Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and Rumble.
Beat up John Cena!
And in the end, even AJ still won the feud in the end because he beat Cena more than... Yeah. Yep. So people could shove about, like, oh, Cena doesn't put anybody over in a feud.
Being on John Cena's old. It's old.
At this point, I honestly feel like nowadays, whenever there's a crowd and they do the whole John Cena sucks, it's become the you suck thing. This Kurt Angle nowadays at this point.
Now it's become the sign of respect.
Yeah, because it's like, he ain't here all the time. It's nice to see him whenever he's around.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'll be curious.
Here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, James.
I already said.
Oh, okay. I was just going to what Ricky said in the chat. What if Bray wins, even though he doesn't need it?
Yeah,
I don't think he's
going.
No,
he ain't. No.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to try and maybe drag out this whole burning thing for a little bit longer. Until maybe the pay-per-view after?
He probably will show up at the Rumble, because I don't know what they've got really lined up. Anything. I'm guessing Randy will be in it, and that would be the moment for.
Yeah, he announced that he's in it.
All right, that'll be the moment for everybody to be.
It's gonna be like Undertaker on Kane in 2004. Maybe you don't see the Fiend, but
everyone lays out in the ring. Randy's standing there. All of a sudden, the lights all go out, and the Fiend's thing is going to play. He's going to pop up, new mask. I guess he's supposed to have some kind of new mask, and he'll show up and scare the fuck out of Randy, and he'll eliminate himself.
Not a burn mark on him.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
It's emotional burns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All in his mind. He's hurting and he's healing.
See you in hell.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I do love that promo, though. That was a great
promo. But
and Russell just mentioned, and is it me or is Goldberg coming in as a heel because he's talking about Drew disrespect the legends when he hasn't done that? Yeah,
like that whole promo came off very weird.
Very weird.
Very weird because like Goldberg claiming you're disrespecting legends. No, he's not. Your brain has been messed up so many times, and Adam Blampier put it perfectly in his video of how he would book the Fiend, like talking about like how. You look at the Fiend's WWE run, like everybody's come in contact with, 8 out of 10 times, they all change. The only ones that didn't were Bryan and Goldberg. He's like, well, Goldberg didn't change because after getting so many hits to the head, it doesn't give you much of a brain to wash. So, yeah.
Okay.
How about Adam Pearce getting a Universal title match?
How about that?
I don't give a shit. I love Pierce, man. Pierce deserves the fucking match. Give him at least one. And give him a big match on a pay-per-view, man. I say fuck it. Former NWA World Champion, Ring of Honor booker. He's a hell of a talker, great worker. Same class as Punk and Cabana and all those guys. So fuck it. Yeah, give him a shot.
Absolutely.
I hope it ends up stealing the show and making people eat their words about it.
Yes.
I want that. It just shows you nobody watches. Nobody really knows the history of wrestling or watches a lot of wrestling.
Nope.
So.
They better show highlights or whatnot to say it's like, oh, by the way, Adam Pearce used to be this multi-time world champion.
Yep.
Maybe.
But you know what's going to do? It's going to make a lot of people Google Adam Pearce.
Yeah.
And start looking up his history. And it's going to make them start, holy shit, this guy can wrestle. The Best of 7 series him and Colt had, where they both left the title in the ring in Australia and said, fuck you to the NWA.
Yeah.
Vision! X-ray vision!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ricky just said... Oh, go ahead.
I hope he wears the goggles to the ring.
I want to see the robe. I want to see the robe, man. And come out to Black Betty.
Yes!
Ricky just asked, what if Bray does come back, but with burns on his skin, even though they would be makeup, and his new mask is all burned?
That's what I think the makeup.
They could pull that off. They could probably pull that off.
He could have like a bodysuit of like scars and shit, because he doesn't show much of his skin anyway, just his arms and a little bit of his torso. He could have a total bodysuit on there that's kind of like flamed up or scarred up or whatever, and the mask will probably have some kind of representation.
Like charred mask.
Yeah.
They could pull that off.
Well done, Fiend.
Go back to Adam Pearce. That's what my kids did last night, because they were like, "What the heck?" when he won, and I'm like, "Why don't you guys like Google him and watch some of his stuff?" And my daughter's like, "Wow, he's pretty good. I didn't realize he could do that." Yeah. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And Russell just said, and it's funny that people talk about Goldberg sucks, but yet when the Goldberg chant is still said. Yeah. That's because people.
Yeah, and when Goldberg comes on, the ratings go up.
Yeah.
And that right there, that tells you how bad WWE has been at developing strong new stars, because they always got to fall back on the Attitude Era guys and the WCW guys and guys that just ransacked the business in 98, 99, 2000 that like nobody else besides Cena, maybe, can they bring back and have some kind of impact. Everybody else, it's the legends. It's Hogan. It's Flair. It's Big Show, I guess. I guess he's a legend. It's Melina. It's Trish Stratus.
Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox, yes. Which I didn't even know. for some IRS, $1 Million Man, Bob Backlund. You know, it's like Godfather, Rikishi. You know, it just tells you how bad they've done at creating strong new stars for this generation to fall back on.
Yeah, and on top
where
of that,
was Carlito? That's right.
Where was Carlito?
He was being cool.
Yeah, he was too cool to show up. But yeah, and it just goes to show you how bad WWE creative has been over the past decade almost.
That's their fault because they don't want anybody bigger than the company.
No. Instead of trying to push multiple guys to be guys in the company, they always have to insist on the one guy system that has been glued into
That's always been that way.
Yeah, it's always been that way going back to Hogan, even though we're at a time where...
Even further back.
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno. I forgot about Bruno.
Yep. Bruno, Superstar, Backlund, Hogan.
And you look everywhere else. There's always been that one guy. The NWA for years, it was Flair, it was Harley, it was so on and so forth.
Yeah, but here's the big difference, especially from then to now. Starting with Cena, you notice that the way they try and make the guy, they do it in the most confusing, complicated, and the most anger-inducing circumstances instead of organically. Like, look at Roman. Like, after the Shield broke up, he was immediately thrusted into that one guy tadpole system going up into the Royal Rumble, and it's like, it didn't feel organic, whereas they were ignoring the Daniel Bryan stuff going on, and it's like, if you don't allow the fans to be heard when it comes to like people getting hot and it's all for nothing because you're already setting up so-and-so for WrestleMania later in the year with Roman and Brock. They had that set in stone, yet you had other guys who were getting hot.
That was the right choice, though. That was the right choice, though.
I guess, but it's like at the same time you had guys like Ambrose getting super over organically, might I add, and not being forced down your throat and up your ass. You know, and it all started with Cena, because it's like you go back to the initial matches he had as champion, like, yeah, the match with JBL and the I Quit match, that was amazing. And then after that, you put him over to Raw, and you put him up against guys like Christian and Jericho, who are loved by the fans, and you're making them choose between Cena and Jericho. They're all going to go for Jericho because he's so loved by the fans, and Cena was still a little green at the time.
He's got equity with the fans, and like when they put him on Raw, that was like mistake number one.
Hindsight, they should have kept Batista on Raw and kept Cena on SmackDown.
Yep, it was fine the way they had it, but they want to change it up. I understand they got to change it up to make stuff fresh and make stuff new.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that's like, let's give it a try, and it doesn't work, and you see what has come about it.
Yeah, I mean, if they really just wanted to just switch the titles to the different brands, why not just give the WWE title to Batista and the big gold belt to Cena? Problem solved.
That's what they did with the New Day and Street Profits.
Exactly. Exactly. They could have done that with Cena and Batista and bring the big gold belt to SmackDown. If they really wanted to change the scenery, could have just done that, and it would have probably been for the better.
Now let's go into this, because as I just mentioned, the tag titles. We had a change of the tag titles on SmackDown. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler won the titles from the Street Profits. Woohoo. But there was a promo that was cut by Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. And at the end of the promo, and this is something I've heard Dolph talk about before too, is they want to see, and we know this isn't going to happen, but go with me on this. They want to see a tag title match, main event, WrestleMania. Now, we know it's not going to be Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler against the Street Profits or something like that, main eventing WrestleMania. But if there was to be a tag title match to main event WrestleMania for the titles, who would you put in there?
I hate to be that guy, but it's you got to take four top guys and throw them in there.
That's unfortunately, I agree with that. So because there's no tag team that's like super over that could be in that spot.
Although I did have. Remember what was it? Extreme Warfare.
Oh yeah, yep. Totally Extreme Warfare. Mm-hmm.
I did have a tag title match co-main event. It was a co-main event. It didn't close the show, but it co-main evented. It was Randy Orton and Triple H back when Evolution, was around against the Dudleys, with the Dudleys as faces.
Oh wow!
It was a 5-star match.
And yes, Ricky, current roster. I mean, right now, if you could make a tag team,
God, I got to think hard about this one.
I mean,
it would have to be big names.
Yeah, and it'd have to be like Roman and Goldberg against Drew and Brock.
Yeah,
something crazy like that.
Yeah, something to that extent, like Drew and Cena, or
Drew and Cena. There you go. That's something.
Drew, Cena versus Roman and Goldberg, or Roman and Brock.
How about Goldberg and Brock?
Oh God! Oh boy,
that would be a fucking great team, man. That'd be fucking.
Put the tag belts on them and have them run with them for like 7 years.
Destroy everyone.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
So how about like Goldberg and Brock Lesnar against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus or The Fiend? Yeah.
Ricky what's going to happen though? Also,
Ricky just said Bray and Cena versus Roman and Brock.
Wow.
You know what's going to happen though? A lot of the WWE tag team guys like Xavier Woods and members of the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders and all that, they're going to take to Twitter and make these vague posts about, sarcastic posts where they, oh, great to see the tag titles will be main eventing WrestleMania. Too bad nobody in the tag division's in the match.
Yep, exactly.
Saying shit like that. Yeah,
that's the life we live.
Jericho will be making comments on Twitter.
They're not going to need to make the comments because the fans are going to do it anyway.
Oh, the fans will do it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're burying the tag division.
The spreader can keep his opinion to himself.
Yes, he does. Yes.
Who's this?
Jericho.
Super spreader.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Jim Cornette literally did an episode it was like one of the second to last episode of the year on The Experience, the downfall of Chris Jericho. Just taking every time they brought up Jericho on the show and how the timbre or the tone towards Jericho gets more negative and negative and negative as the year goes on.
But real quick, back to what we were talking about with like Cena in 2005. That actually gave me a really good idea for an episode in May. How would we rebook Cena's first title run? I think that'd be a really good one. Like how each of us would do it to make sure that Cena doesn't get completely booed, and how you would book him to not be corny and stuff like that. Like, it's easy to say in hindsight, but I want to try and do it with realistic timing of 2005 and 2006.
That's interesting.
So, I think that'd be a good one, because after all, we haven't done a rebooking in a while since Scott, you and I tackled the Invasion. That monstrosity of 2.5 hour show.
That's the other one, too. If we do a rebooking, it has to be broken up, because that was a long ass show from.
And it was my fault. And it was my fault.
Yeah, it was both of us, man. Because mine went long too. So it's not completely you. And Walt couldn't be on that show. So if there was all three of us on there trying to rebook the Invasion, that show would still be going on right now. Being like that tower.
God forbid all 4 of us.
Oh yeah,
it was like the Beverly Brothers and the Bushwhackers from Royal Rumble '92. It's still going on, but
or Sting and Hawk versus the Nasties from Starrcade '93.
I swear it's going on right now.
It's like Curtis Axel's time in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
he's still in the 2015 Royal Rumble.
And speaking of something like that, it always... Well, I know why, but I'm not going to touch on it. It had something to do with Hornswoggle and Al Snow, but I remembered what had actually happened, so...
Okay.
Never mind. Well, actually, I'll bring it up. So if I was to have one day met Adam Blampier, or at least talked to him, I'd be one to shake him and say, the reason why Finlay got disqualified from the Rumble is because he jumped the gun, you idiot. Because I remember back when he used to work at What Culture, 4 years ago, he did 10 things WWE wants you to forget about the Royal Rumble match. He brings up the Finlay DQ from 2008. He's like, I don't... can somebody clarify this for me? Rules are in a Rumble match. There are no DQs. Anything goes. Like Al Snow did in 2001. And yet Finlay gets in the match, yet Al Snow doesn't get disqualified. Well, Blampier, the reason why Al Snow wasn't disqualified because he didn't jump the gun. Finlay jumped the gun. Simple answer. Why is it so hard for you to understand? Anyways.
Your argument is invalid.
So there you go. Love you, Blampier, but good lord, you can be stupid sometimes.
And I'll say, fuck you. I don't give a shit.
Wowzers. But
that escalated.
Yeah.
That's heat, brother.
But yeah, that is still an idea. Yeah, rebooking Cena's first title run. Yeah, I'd have to think.
Let him hold it for 100 years.
No, if this time we're gonna do the New Jack angle.
Oh no!
Bombs away!
So I remember that was supposed to. Remember the original plan, supposedly for the stabber at the club in that angle was supposed to be New Jack.
Yep.
Oh God.
Knife on a pole match.
Knife on a pole match. Yeah, bring out Tank Abbott too. He can get in on
The
that.
promos would be great. The promos would be great. Though.
With Special Enforcer Sid.
It's Arn Anderson. It was Arn Anderson with the scissors. Sid was the victim.
Allegedly.
Say what
Ricky.
you want about New Jack. The guy could talk, and the promos would have been
Yes,
great.
he could. Yes, he could.
Him against
And before-
Cena on the mic. Ooh.
Before ECW or his diving off shit, he could work. He could work a match. He could do typical Southern style. You know?
Yep.
Smoky Mountain.
You don't work with the Rock and Roll Express and not get good. It's simple
really.
as that.
Yeah.
You know, when they have the gangsters against the rock and roll or gangsters against heavenly bodies, you're gonna know how to work. You can do it.
Yeah. Ricky just mentioned an idea. Rebook Roman's first title reign. What, the title reign now only lasted 2 minutes? Survivor Series 2015?
Rebook it to be 1 minute.
Yeah, rebook it. Cut it in half. Have Sheamus cash in faster.
How about
Faster, yeah.
rebooking Taz's first few months in the WWF?
I actually
Because it
one time
started so well with him and Kurt, and then they just did not know what to do with him.
Have him beat everybody and give him the belt.
There
That's
you go.
hardcore Holly.
yeah.
I got an idea. How about I
got an
beat
idea.
everybody, and y'all give
I
me the
remember
belt?
I actually got to rebook. I'm just a thing for myself. I rebooked ECW 2000 2001 without Taz leaving.
Oh,
If you kept Taz there, and I made a huge feud between Taz representing ECW and Tanaka representing FMW.
wow.
So
Well, FMW was on the way down at that time.
right, so they
There were
needed,
a lot of-
they needed an injection of shit up their ass, so they get exposure on on television in America. So kind of make
Because when Hayabusa broke his neck, the popularity just
went down. Yeah.
hit rock bottom.
So
And really, it wasn't when he stuck that firecracker up his ass.
No.
So if anybody who's watching this wants to suggest any rebooking ideas, and let's not be crazy here with silly shit.
Yeah.
Let's actually try and think of something that we look back at like, why couldn't they have done this instead of this?
We're
Speaking
open
of
to anything.
Tanaka, I got to find that 6-man that him and Hase did.
Oh, what you told me about? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Muda, Marufuji, and Hiroshi Hase. No. It was Hase, Marufuji, and the champion of Noah right now. I forgot his name. Against Muda, Masato Tanaka, and one other person. And Tanaka and Hase hit all their spots. They hit all their big spots, including the giant swing. Tanaka took the giant swing
Oh wow,
from Hase.
that gigantic nose.
Yep. And that baby face fire. Oh, he was doing all the clips I saw. He was doing all the shit.
Oh, the shit. How about the
Oh,
curtain
shit.
call never happened? Ricky says. How about the curtain call never happened? That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
WCW would have went down the toilet.
They would have.
Yeah, they really would have.
Would have been gone.
Yep.
And then that means the WWF would have been down the toilet, which means ECW's the #1 company in the US.
Yeah, because Ricky, let's not forget that before the curtain call, Nash and Hall already gave their notices back in the late
that's
winter,
why they
early
did the curtain
spring.
call. So.
Yeah.
So they were gone anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's why they did it. Now, Russell makes a good point. I caught this briefly too, and I didn't really think of it. Mark Henry, did he have surgery?
I haven't heard anything about that. Yeah, I noticed in that segment with Orton on when I watched the clip. Yeah, he had a walker or a scooter,
and he looks like he's lost weight.
Yeah,
he's looking
a lot of weight.
Yeah, and that's usually not a good sign.
Yeah, maybe either he had like the weight loss surgery or he was losing weight and he pushed himself too far.
He was always naturally big anyway, so he didn't really need to lose weight. So that's why I'm concerned. Like, might be some other issues going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, but you notice he dyed his beard back, so it's not gray anymore. He doesn't look like an old man, and he ain't even that old either. He's late 40s.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's in his 40s, maybe 50 now.
It's not Wrestle Kingdom. If anybody's seen it, saw it.
That 6-man. It's on Wrestle Kingdom.
No, that was on the Noah show, the January 4th Noah show. That was across the street.
Gotcha.
Ricky said, I was mostly talking about Triple H since he was going to win the 96 King of the Ring. How would things be for Austin? Oh, boy. If I had to take a gander, what would have happened to Austin?
He'd have still been...
I think
he was still going to be facing Brett.
Yeah, he was still going to be facing Brett, but who knows afterwards.
I think it would have came to fruition. I think it would have. It just would have been a little more delayed.
Yeah, maybe it wouldn't have happened as fast.
On a roundabout way to get there.
Yeah, because even before the curtain call and what happened with Triple H, Austin was already on a big attitude change anyways.
Yeah.
So, now that I think about it with that, I think we would have gotten the same thing regardless. The only difference is you would have had a feud with Triple H and Shawn for the title. That could have been great. That could have been real. That could have been a great feud if everything had came together and not what happened. However, I will say this, Ricky, would you sacrifice the Austin 316 promo for that? I wouldn't. Because after all, the Austin 316, one of the great ad-libbed moments in wrestling history. Like, that was not planned. He just thought about that in the hospital while watching Jake's promo on the monitor, heading to the hospital to get his stitches. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the big brick wall in this. Would you sacrifice the Austin 316 promo and the incredible merch numbers they'd get off that T-shirt for this?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, in that case, who would win the 97 tournament if Triple H won in 96? Well, when James did an episode about it last year on From the Vault, and when you look at the bracket, you almost think it was probably going to, and judging by what happened at the end of the show, it was probably going to be Ahmed Johnson leading to an Ahmed Taker match at Canadian Stampede, because they had turned Ahmed heel for a stupid reason, put him with the Nation who he'd been feuding with for like almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then a week later he injures his knee because, as I will always keep saying, Ahmed, you were not being pushed because you were black. You were not getting pushed because you were made of glass. You couldn't last longer than like 5 months without getting hurt. Sheesh. I still haven't forgotten about that stupid shit you said about Shawn and Austin, Ahmed, you fucking idiot.
That's heat.
Ugh. Dumbass. But anyways, yeah. My little rant about that dumbass is done.
Say how you really feel.
Yeah, man, don't hold back. It's okay. You're amongst friends here. You can be honest.
Yeah, claiming that Shawn and Austin were racist and spray painted the N-word on your car. Fuck you.
No,
trying to get sympathy bullshit from people that... I don't want to go too much deeper, otherwise we're going to be here all night. But yeah, other than Ahmed, I really couldn't. Maybe Vader? No, because Vader was injured after the match with Shamrock. I forgot about that. Yeah, I can't. Maybe. No, they wouldn't. I could never see them do an Undertaker Mankind face versus face match. No, and besides, Mankind, Foley himself was getting super over thanks to those shoot interviews.
They could have had Triple H win a second time.
Yeah, he probably could have.
Maybe.
He's the only two-time King of the Ring.
Flash Funk.
Flash.
Yes. Oh, wait. Look. Jerry Lawler.
I was just about to say. Tournament. I was literally. I had Lawler's name in my mind just now, and you took the words right out of my mouth.
Bruce Hart. So we get 3 of them.
Oh no!
Get 3 Harts as kings.
Holy fuck! But yeah, other than Ahmed, I don't know who else could have won '97.
Actually, how about this? For '97, I would guess he'd be there, but I don't know. He was probably injured. Brian Pillman.
Well, originally it was supposed to have been Pillman and Austin on that show, but they did a bait and switch. Because remember, with that show, we were supposed to have gotten 2 other big matches, Austin and Pillman, and a 10-minute match with Shawn and Brett, but Brett was recovering from knee surgery, and they did the bait and switch thing with Pillman, hence why we got Shawn versus Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know yet, maybe Pillman, but with knowing what we know about with Pillman's injuries and all
you've been able to wrestle more than once on one night.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Very good point. Mm-hmm.
Russell says Goldust? Nah, because he used babyface, and similar to Foley, he was getting super over with the shoot interviews series. So
when you think King, you don't think Goldust.
No. Yeah, you'd have to think of a heel that could, well, maybe not so much run with the King gimmick, but kind of have a bit of that complex. That's why Triple H worked that year.
And heels make better kings.
Because they could
throughout the history of the gimmick.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like going back, trying to think, 97. Other than Hunter, yeah, there was really no other big heels that could have ran with it at the time.
That's the thing.
Because all the other heels were involved in the Hart Foundation versus US feud with Bulldog, Owen, Anvil, Pillman. Maybe this might be stretching it, and it was probably going to be a face match. Sid?
Yeah.
Could have done the Taker Sid rematch at Canadian Stampede or SummerSlam. No, not SummerSlam. No, fuck that. Canadian Stampede, just leave it at that. But still, I don't think it would have been as good as Vader Taker was that night, because that was a really good match between those two. So,
what about D'Lo Brown?
I don't think he was wrestling yet.
Yeah, I think he was still managing at the time.
He was still a nation manager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember now, because after Ahmed got hurt. Yeah, after Ahmed got hurt, that's when D'Lo started to wrestle, and then Kama came back. So, and then you fast forward a couple months later, and then The Rock.
When it was after King of the Ring, where Farouk fired everyone in the nation but D'Lo Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he fired Savio, Crush, PG-13,
Clarence Mason,
and only D'Lo was left. And then he brings in Kama.
Got, Los Boricuas and the DOA out of it.
Oh, the gang wars. Good Lord.
Yep.
The Truth Commission.
Hart
Foundation. DX.
Like, I swear, there was like 6 or 7 factions in 1997 at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hart Foundation, DX, The Nation, DOA, Los Boricuas, and the Truth Commission.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck were they thinking? Then again, the Attitude Era as a whole was faction-filled. Because then after that, you had the Corporation, you had the Ministry, the Job Squad, the McMahon-Helmsley regime, the Radicals, The
Union.
Yeah, the Brood, the Union. Good lord. Mean Street Posse. What the fuck is going on here?
Ministry of Darkness, corporate ministry.
Oh.
McMahon Helmsley faction.
Mm-hmm.
The regime.
Yep.
Conspiracy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. The short-lived group. And Russell said, I always thought D'Lo Brown was underrated. Yeah, he was really underrated.
D'Lo was good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not much of a talker, but he was good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember he was doing the gangsta promo, but right before Cena started doing it. D'Lo was changed up his gimmick a little bit, and he was starting to do like the headband tied in the front, like Tupac and shit. He would do like, trying to do like street style promo, but that's when Cena started doing the Dr. Thugonomics stuff and it
just worked naturally for John. I don't think it would have been natural for D'Lo, if you ask me.
No, the CPA from Jersey was not going to fly like that.
I think D'Lo was gone by then, though.
Yeah,
shortly after.
Well, no, he was around. He was around in early 03, so it would have been about mid 03 when he was gone.
Yeah.
So.
It just sucks that after the Droz accident, he was never really the same.
No.
After that.
Yeah, and you could tell in a lot of
he was
his matches. Yeah, he was just like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Because he doesn't want to hurt anybody after what happened to Droz, and especially, and you can tell in like demeanors of other wrestlers when they come across a freak moment like that. Like, look at Rey Mysterio after what happened in AAA all those years ago. When, yeah. And if you want to go deeper in sports, look at racing. I'm going to use this racing example. Tony Stewart, probably the biggest one of them all, where 2014 he's racing on a local dirt track because that's what he loved to do. And he comes across this kid named Kevin Ward Jr. who got involved in a wreck, and he's mad at Tony and high on marijuana, yet he's racing on the track in the dark with sprint cars with very low visibility windshields in the dark. And Tony drives by and the left rear wheel hits him and kills him. And Tony was not the same after that. Yeah, he got a win in Sonoma in 2016, but he was not anywhere near the badass competitor he was years before. And it's because it really, really affected him to the point where he just wishes he could meet with his family and apologize for everything that happened. And then the family tries to sue him and try and make money off of their kid's death, and it's like, fuck you. So, yeah, it's like whenever athletes get involved in like something freaky like that, they're more times than not the same anymore afterwards.
Nope.
Especially in their demeanor.
It's we're getting off at a dark tangent here, but it's the same if you go to the military and you are artillery. You're mercenaries and you're going into combat. Changes everything.
Even my grandfather, well, he didn't fight, but he was in the army when he was in his 30s. He was a mechanic. He didn't really do crazy stuff, but well respected in that matter, which is why crazy thing, whenever we had his funeral 2.5 years ago, I didn't know they were going to do this, but some of his comrades from back in his day were there to pay respects, and they had these 2 rifles, and they shot, and I had no idea what was going to happen. I was like, oh, crap. I had to cover my ears. I'm like, I didn't know they were going to do this.
I did that for my father at his funeral. My father fought in Vietnam, and he was a mechanic, too. Worked on planes, and he was at this one hangar in Vietnam one time, and they came under fire, and everyone had to hide, and there was one guy who got chosen to kind of run out and grabbed something. I forgot what it was. And that guy got halfway there, got shot, didn't die, got a Purple Heart out of it. But still, you're under fire and you can't do anything about it. And that really does mess you up. And when my father passed away too, he got we didn't have a 21 gun salute, but they got 3 guys to shoot near 3 times.
That's what they did for my grandfather.
Yeah, the honor guard or whatever it's called. My mother actually worked a few details. My parents were divorced for years, but my mom, his ex-wife, my dad's ex-wife, worked some connection she had to get that for him at his funeral. So.
That's nice.
Yep. Yeah. Nice. All right, off the dark subject here. Back to wrestling.
I was about to say, I'm still trying to think of like other rebooking video ideas we could do sometime this year. Because there's a lot, but it's just not coming to me.
Rebooked WCW in 2000.
Oh, God. Oh, we really want to have a 5-hour show?
No Bischoff, no Russo. Just clear.
We have to use the roster that there is. We can't bring anybody in. We can't get rid of. We have to use.
What's that?
We just shut it down and be done with it.
Yeah, there you go. Put your fancy booking. Close it. Be done. Close it earlier.
Burn it.
Just to be fair, WCW was going to be done anyway.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. And it had nothing to do with Vince. It had nothing to do with the company. It was all AOL Time Warner who put the final nail in the coffin. That's it.
Yeah. Granted, with everything business-wise in the behind the scenes, not helping matters either, but
that didn't really matter. It all had to do with the corporate side of WCW. Even going back before that, the Turner Time Warner merger, the first one.
Oh, God.
And then Time Warner's telling Bischoff, "Oh, here's how you're going to run the company that you made successful."
Right.
Oh, man.
You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, and you can't say that. Right. Okay, how the fuck are we going to compete?
So Ricky just brought up one. WWF in 95. I know, James, you did an old video like a decade ago doing that.
I've gotten so much better. I've gotten so much better at stuff. I completely forgot about that shit, but
I think the only thing I could remember from that series you did, I remember you had Shawn Michaels booked to be in the $1 Million Corporation, win the King of the Ring. I remember that. So,
or he was in it briefly and then broke away from him.
I found a tweet from the Iron Sheik just now. All right, the Sheik tweeted today. Adam Pearce, Bubba, you always respect the business and you always respect the legend. Now you go out and win or I beat fuck out of you.
Oh, well, Adam Pearce is going to get an ass kicking afterwards.
The Royal Rumble. The Iron Sheik should win the Royal Rumble. Why not?
Oh, boy.
Goldberg, you no good bastard. I put you in camel clutch, break your back, you
make you humble.
I'm not going to say what he would say.
I think Sheik would be a little more anti-Semitic.
Yes, he would.
Kind of like when he wrestled. Remember Carito told that story about the Sheik?
Yes.
That one
yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. No.
Oh, God, Lois, it was horrible. The fish went up my eyes and my nose, and I think one of them muttered something anti-Semitic. My couch, my TV. What the hell did you do? Me? Who the hell buys a novelty fire
champion? Iron Sheik, let's go.
What was that, James? One more time.
Iron Sheik,
two-time WWE champion Iron Sheik. Let's go. Fuck it.
Cameraman zoom.
And then $1 Million Man comes out and buys the belt off of him for a second time.
Rebook January 23rd, 1984. Hogan Sheik. Sheik wins.
Ricky said, "This just popped in my head. What if Pierce wins the title and Miz cashes in and Roman enters the Rumble and wins it?"
Dude,
I like your thinking there, Ricky.
I like it. Ricky, you're thinking. I like that.
Yeah.
That could be something.
That could be something. Granted.
Like a surprise Luke roll-up or whatever. Roman beats the shit out of Pierce.
Turn it into a three-way and he pins Pierce.
Very well could.
I forgot Miz got his briefcase back. Just got it back. Here you go.
Yeah. And Pierce was the one that gave it back to him, too.
Right. Ricky, I think you got something.
I think you're on to something there, Ricky. Imagine if that actually happened. Holy shit.
That would be something. Like, it's Roman's right there. Pierce does something. Here comes Miz, and he pins Pierce to win the title.
That I like that idea now. It's just a random as fuck shock moment, and then Miz finally gets the title that he should have gotten like 4 years ago again.
Yeah, he doesn't need it. Not because he's that good, he just doesn't need a title. Thank you.
Pierce in the main event at WrestleMania.
Let's not get crazy now.
Yeah,
And then Daniel Bryan wins the Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan versus Adam Pearce.
Ooh, man, 60 minutes. Iron Man match.
50-star match.
Yeah, man.
It would have been
Pure
100 if it was at the
Honor
Tokyo
Pure
Dome.
Wrestling.
though.
Ring of Honor rules.
They gotta
Yes.
shake hands. They can only they get three rope
That
grabs.
was
They
the
can
pure
use.
title. That was the pure title rules.
Pure title, yes.
Yep. 20 count on the floor.
20
3
count
rope
more.
breaks. After 3 rope breaks, the ropes are in play for your opponent, not you. That's how Joe lost the title to Nigel McGuinness. And I think that no closed fists, strict no closed fists, forearms only. So yeah, that was the pure title rules.
Yep. I think that belt's still around too. I think they brought it back.
They just brought it back.
Yeah, they had a tournament for it a couple of months ago.
I don't even know who won. But,
So
I
I
couldn't
just
tell
saw.
you half the. I can't tell you any like more than 5 guys
Dude.
on the roster.
I can't tell you any Impact champion right now except for the Good Brothers. I cannot tell you who has any Ring of Honor title. I cannot tell you anything right now because
Yeah, no,
really,
the Good
world
Brothers have a title.
yeah, the Impact tag titles, they have that.
I think Rich Swann is the world champion.
Swann is the world champion.
Okay.
Yeah, why?
Is
One of their next events, they're doing Kenny and the Good Brothers versus Swan and the Machine Guns in a 6-man tag.
wow.
So I thought I'd show these
Isn't it a
off.
cinematic 6-man tag?
So I thought I'd show off some of these.
Kenny Olivier.
So I thought I'd show off some of these. These are currently the only non-WWE wrestling DVDs I have. I used to have a shit ton of TNA DVDs before I sold them all. This is the one I kept, the Kurt Angle Champion DVD, with interview with Kurt. And I'm going to bring this up because I feel a lot of people forget this particular fact. Kurt talks about it in this DVD about why it was he really left WWE in 2006. A lot of people tend to forget. Yeah, Kurt was hurt at the time, needed to take time off and get healthy. So the meeting happens with Kurt and Vince. They're meeting up to discuss, like, Kurt, Kurt's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I can keep going this way anymore. And Vince originally said, all right, Kurt, we'll release you. We'll let you take about 6-8 months off. Come back. We'll give you the same contract we did before. Don't worry about it. So originally, Angle was just going to be gone for a while. But the turning point, no pun intended for the pay-per-view, as Kurt was leaving the meeting, Vince looks at him, but Kurt, I want you to remember this. An Olympic gold medal and a cup of coffee don't mean shit to me. If Vince had not said that, Kurt would not have went to TNA. Simple as that. If Vince had kept his mouth shut, Kurt would have still been in the company. Would have been gone for about 6-8 months, but he wouldn't have gone to TNA as long as Vince had kept his big mouth shut in that moment. And Kurt even says in response, it does mean shit, Vince. It means a lot. Maybe not monetarily. I know you're the millionaire and I'm the gold medalist, but I'll take a gold medal over money any day. So, yeah.
Mark.
One little tidbit a lot of people forget about. If you want proof, just try and get this DVD. It's the end of the first disc. And you also get some great matches, like the first 3 matches with Joe. The Lethal Lockdown match, I think, is on here from 07 Lockdown. The King of the Mountain match. The Every Belt on the Line match. The X Division title match with Jay Lethal. The match with Sting, and I think it ends with the Lockdown match with Joe. So you got some damn good stuff on this. So if you can, by some miracle, find this DVD, get it. And then I got these 3 Ring of Honor DVDs. I got Best in the World, Stars of Honor, and Bloodstained Honor. See if you can, Walter, I want to test you on this. So on this, the Bloodstained Honor DVD, can you try and guess one match that you think would be on here?
What year was it?
This was made 2008.
It was a compilation?
Yeah. What would be one bloody ROH match do you think would be on here?
I'm going to guess
The
one.
ROH match, I would probably say Carino and Homicide.
Carino and Homicide.
I got to guess too.
Nope, not on here.
I'm going to guess Samoa Joe, Jay Briscoe.
Yep, first match on the disc, actually.
Jay bleeds like a freaking stuck pig in that match. Is the Carnage Crew against Homicide and Abdullah the Butcher on there?
That should be.
Well, there is... Wait, did you say Necro Butcher?
No, the Carnage Crew, Crew against Homicide and Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh, Abdullah? No, that's not on
Damn.
there.
Because if it was on there, I want a royalty because I'm in that match. I get bit by Abdullah, hit the head by Danny Moff of the chair.
Yeah. You do have, speaking of Adam Pearce, there's the six-man tag team war, Joe, Pierce, and BJ Whitmer versus Team CZW, Chris Hero, Super Dragon, and Necro Butcher.
Yeah, that'd be on there. Is Cage of Death on there?
Cage of Death? No, but there is a cage match, Cage Warfare. Austin Aries, Roderick Strong, Jack Evans, Matt Seidel versus Jimmy Rave, Alex Shelley, Abyss, and Prince Nana.
What was that? Well, it was Generation Next.
Generation Next versus the Embassy.
The Embassy. I couldn't remember the name of them. Nana was so cool. Nana was such a cool guy.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Another one, dog collar match, Jimmy Rave, CM Punk.
Oh, see, if it was CM Punk Raven, I'm there too for that one. That's where Dreamer shows up. And here's a funny story about that one. That was at the Rexplex in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And it's Ravens and CM Punk's feud. They have the dog collar match. And Tommy Dreamer comes out. Tommy Dreamer and Raven double team Punk. But Punk got cut in the match. Got cut on his hand. Pretty bad. And they took Punk's boots off for some reason and left him in the ring. Punk rolled out of the ring, and I was working ring crew at the time, so I had to get in the ring and grab the boots, which I did. And I come back through the curtain, and Punk is sitting down on the ground, hunched over, holding his hand to the stomach. And I just kind of stood there because I'm just like, fuck, what do I do? Do I help this guy? What's going on? And I'm holding the guy's boots in my hand. And Punk kind of sees me. He gets up, and it's a long walk back to the locker room in that building. It's not very compact. It's wide open. We have the wrestling ring set up on a soccer field inside this big building. And you have to walk a while to get to where the lockers are. I follow Punk all the way to the back, holding the boots, and he's still holding his hand to his stomach like this. I don't know what the hell's wrong. We get to the back. We come up the stairs. We're coming up to Mikey Whipwreck sitting there talking to a couple people. And there's this garbage can right in front of Mikey and the table. And Punk staggers up to where they're standing. And Mikey's kind of talking to people, not really paying much attention. He turns. He sees Punk. He's like, "Oh, hey, Punk." And Punk just goes like this. And all this blood comes pouring out of his hand into the garbage can. Like a big flop.
Jeez.
He was holding it in the whole time, and he didn't want to get any blood on the ground or anything like that to make a mess. And I was like, holy shit. I grabbed like a big stack of napkins, anything I could grab my hands out at that point and said, "Here, dude, here." And he grabbed them, all the stuff, and he went back to the locker room, sat down. I put the boots back down, and then I had to run back down the ring. But man, just seeing go through that after that was crazy.
So for this one, best in the world, what matches do you think would be on this one? And
Austin Aries, Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, I should say.
Surprisingly, no.
Really? The 75-minute match, I think it was, something like that? 75 minute? That's not on there? Wow.
No.
How about Jay Lethal, Nigel McGuinness?
Nope.
Nope. What year was this again?
These DVDs were made in 2008.
2008, okay.
There
Austin
is one.
and Joe?
No.
Jeez.
I know, it's a shocker.
Yeah. Nigel and Daniel Bryan? Or Bryan Danielson?
Punk and Joe.
Actually, no. There is one CM Punk match on it, but it's a very unconventional one.
Punk and AJ?
I'll give you one hint. We talk about this guy every fucking show.
Well, we talk about a lot of people every show. Mantar! No.
One word. Jackass.
Really?
Yes, CM
Looking
Punk
Funk?
and Terry Funk from September 20th, 2003 in Philly.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah, that's on here. Well, some matches you got Joe versus Kenta Kobashi.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Yeah. Brian, the
And then
only...
the tag match.
Huh?
Is the tag match on there? Joe and Low-Ki and Homicide and Kenta?
No. I was double
Really?
checking because there's some that you might be able to get on this one, the Stars of Honor DVD, but some other ones you got Claudio Cascanoli versus El Generico in a Race to the Top tournament final.
Okay.
Let's see, AJ Styles and Matt Sydal versus Dragon Kid and Jinki Horiguchi.
Yeah, Dragon Gate guys.
Yeah, Kenta versus Austin Aries.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the only Bryan match, Bryan Danielson versus Lance Storm from April 1st, 06, WrestleMania 22 weekend in Chicago.
Wow.
So
okay.
Now for Stars of Honor, the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try and figure out some that could be here. And it's all like random pairings too.
Let's see, Carino, Low-Ki, Tanaka, Otani.
Nope. Well, James guessed one match from the last one, but it's on this one instead. This one was actually, this one was 2008 too.
Punk Joe.
Yep, right there on the cover. The December 4th, 04 match. You also
when Punk
have
met Joe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You also have the FIP World Title match, Homicide versus Antonio Banks, MVP, from February 19th, 05. You got a couple Matt Hardy matches on here. Matt Hardy, Homicide, Matt Hardy, Roderick Strong, all within 2 days of one another, August 12th and August 13th, 05.
What about James Gibson, Roderick Strong?
Yep. You also have Bryan Danielson versus Spanky.
Oh wow, that's early. That's early.
And then even a TNA match in Ring of Honor in 2006, Christopher Daniels versus Christian.
Oh,
from Cleveland, July 29th, 2006. So this would have been shortly after Christian turned heel, and Daniels was still teaming with AJ for the tag titles in TNA.
What about AJ versus Paul London?
Nope.
Oh.
So, like the other ones on here, you got Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal versus Low-Ki and Homicide. And then the last one, James Gibb. Oh, yeah, and we did say Gibson and Strong. So, yeah, that's all from this. The rest that were on the Best in the World, you had the Briscoes versus Naruki Doi and Shingo for the tag titles in Liverpool in March 3rd, 07.
Right.
Joe versus Kikutaro. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
With Mick Foley in his corner from February 19th, 05 in Elizabeth, Jersey. And then Takeshi Morishima versus Nigel McGuinness.
Oh,
Morishima. That's a fucking beast right there, man.
Then the rest on Bloodstained Honor, you have Windy City.
Is the match with Danielson on that one? Morishima and Danielson?
No.
The one where he clocks his eye and holds his eye back.
Yep.
And then the rest on Bloodstained Honor, I didn't say, or that weren't guessed. Chicago Street Fight, Second City Saints, CM Punk Ace Steel versus The Prophecy, Dan Maff and BJ Whitmer from July 24th, 04.
Yep.
Danny Moff would climb the turnbuckle and go, winner off!
Yep.
You also have Ghetto Street Fight, Colt Cabana Homicide.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was a weird feud. I remember that.
Then almost 1 year to the date, Windy City Street Fight or Windy City Deathmatch, Colt Cabana, Jimmy Jacobs. And then the last match, Boston Street Fight, Kevin Steen and El Generico versus the Briscoes.
Oh, Briscoes, yeah.
Slamming each other on furniture.
Uh-huh.
What was the one where Age of the Fall made their debut?
What was the show, you mean? Or
yeah.
I remember. Oh, I don't remember.
So, yeah, they ran in after the Briscoes beat Steen and Generico.
Oh.
It was like a blow off to their big feud.
Because Age of the Fall, that was Jimmy Jacobs,
Tyler Black, Seth Rollins,
BJ Whitmer, Necro. Brody was in that crew.
Daisy Hayes.
And Mischief.
Yeah. And there was one more girl, too. Daisy Hayes, Mischief, and there was one more. Who was the Minnesota Home Wrecking Crew? Daisy Hayes and one.
No, that wasn't Daisy. That was Lacey and Rain. Lacey and Rain.
Lacey and Rain. I think both of them were in Age of the Fall.
Yep. One of the greatest wrestling tag team names ever, the Minnesota Home Wrecking Crew. It was great.
Yep.
Lacey was great, man. Lacey was a great talker and good worker in the ring, but she just kind of disappeared. And Rain was kind of, she was okay. She never really stood out. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, I think on that note, that's a good way to wrap things up. So that was episode 34 of the Shadow Call podcast, Royal Rumble 1995. But before we go, a couple of notes. Next week, we're back to talk about Royal Rumble 1998. So that's going to be an interesting one to talk about. But before we go, it's plug time. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, ThrashManiac99, sub or follow me on Twitch at ThrashManiac99, and follow me on Twitter at ThrashManiac99. James?
You can find me on YouTube at We Are Pro Wrestling. I'm currently in my Royal Rumble month, where I just covered Royal Rumble 1991. This coming week, I'm covering Royal Rumble 1993. You can go to the community tab on my channel page and vote for the second week in February of what I'm going to be doing. And you can follow me on Twitter at WAPW_wrestling.
Scott?
Find me on my YouTube channel, Mr. Scott Reacts. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Scott Reacts. And you can find me on Twitch at Mr. Scott Rocks.
And finally, Walter.
You can find me on Twitter at YourWaltBall, and you can find me on Instagram at smoking__Walt_ball. And you can find Mr. Scott and I along with Tom Clark, Skip Novak, and our good friend Sergeant Fury, Dan Roberts, for the Necrocasticon, where we discuss the latest and best in horror and metal. And you can find me on occasion on Wrestling with Trivia on YouTube. I am currently 1-1. I picked up a victory there last week.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I also hosted a game as well. Is that on there? Did you have to run into it yet, Scott?
I haven't seen it yet, so you got to tell me if it's up.
Neither have I. My questions were so freaking. It was a low scoring game.
Yeah,
I guess my questions were that low.
So
I wonder if it's on there.
Well, there you go. Anyways,
so thanks everybody hanging in the chat. Thanks everybody who hung out there and checked out the show every week. Appreciate you guys as always.
Yep. But before we go, I am going to raid somebody on Twitch. And you shall see who it is. I'm going to invade my buddy Rhyme TV, who I've been playing Minecraft with as of late. Go give her some love, and we will see you next week, folks. And we're done.
And we're done.
And that's it.
Alrighty. All right.
I was like, wow, you're a dick.
I'm going to sign off, boys, so I will see
gotta
you
go
on
take
next
that
week.
$600 pass, dumbass.
I found it. I'll tag you in it.
Okay.
Okay, where are you at? Come down your waterfall.
If I don't want to go that way.
How's the raid not showed up?
Here.
I'm gonna come, I just don't want to go down the waterfall.
Well, then come a different way.